order to one of the catalogs and simply the order in and put the money in and send it off.
That money that you made.
So, and then Ralph, you went to work as a blacksmith.
Yeah, I went, this is Humphrey.
You
How-
were about 14 when
This
you,
out of school, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, you was in Cornley first.
Yeah, Cornley the first year, then he moved to Humphrey.
What kind of blacksmith work did you do?
Well, you sharpen stuff up, welding. Well, a lot of times you're taking horse equipment and rejuvenate it to mount it on tractors. In other words, rebuild stuff and keep, you break something and weld it together.
Now, was that, what was that like doing that when you're 14? You would never do that today at 14.
Well, you gotta start sometime.
Did you enjoy doing it?
Oh, yeah.
What did you get paid?
Hmm?
What did you get paid?
Oh, 50 cents a day or so, I guess.
No, did you take the money, did you buy a car or buy a bicycle, or would you?
Well, I guess I had a bicycle. I got to, see, I was in Cornley for a year or so, then he moved to Humphrey. His in-law or whoever was, that had the Humphrey shop, he died, or, in other words, the blacksmith that was in Cornley, his relation died in Humphrey, so he moved to Humphrey, and I went to Humphrey then.
Wasn't
Okay.
that you, Walt Nissen?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, you got that little roaster that time
That
too with the
about-
rumple seat in?
yeah,
Model A Roadster.
I remember that.
Now, that first year when you worked, I think you rode your bicycle to
Yeah,
Cornwall.
Cornley, yeah.
Yeah,
But you stayed in Cornley. You stayed with them, didn't you? You
Yeah.
didn't come home at night.
No,
yeah, that's right.
I went in Humphrey, you drove in.
Yeah.
I stayed with my distance.
Yeah.
So after that, things changed probably a lot for the better is when
Well, it couldn't get worse, it had to get better.
yeah, when your father bought the property where John is right now. And why don't you explain that, Tony?
Well, actually, I worked at 40, in 39 was a poor year. We had a real poor year that year. It got so hot and dry, and anyhow, I worked in, well, Frank Wagner, he had an instance cutter, and he filled it up, like I was talking before about the pit tile. He done one out too and built that. But then he had I think it was 30, 40 acres of that real tall corn. Yeah, I mean, not corn, instance. But anyhow, he come over one day and he wanted me to work for him. 50 cents a day. So then I shopped that field. I worked there. The reason he needed somebody, he was out shopping with the chopper, custom. You know, you go out to the chop silage, for other people's silage. But anyhow, then when we finally got everything done, I walked through his corn, but I wouldn't get over 15, 20 bushels in a half a day. But anyhow, then when we got that all done, we got all done with that work. He told me one day, he said, when your dad comes by, why don't you have him stop? I want to talk to him. So I told my dad that. Didn't take too many days. My dad come by and talked to Frank. Anyhow, he says, well, I'm giving that boy 50 cents a day. He said, that can't have done, 50 cents a day. And I can get plenty of boys for $5 a month. Anyhow, then when I come home and told my dad that, well, I guess my dad told him himself. No, he says, you're not, I'm not gonna let him work for $5 a month because it's worth that much just to have him home to get the cows home.
My bump,
What?
is that my bump, when you worked my bump?
Yeah. But, well, he says, your boy's got a job here as long as until I get another boy. When I get another boy, And he's out, he says.
Once when he worked there, he knew where a bump used to hide it. He found it anyhow. When I worked for a bump, I couldn't find a drink anyplace around.
But anyhow, then, I was still there yet on the 1st of March. He never found another boy.
For $5 a month.
He just, I bet he just said that too.
Yeah.
Now, you were about 14 at that time too, 14, 15.
Well, I would have been, I got 15 in the 20th of February.
And
But I don't know, I don't call them bad days or anything. I enjoyed working for him, and
Well, if I had something to do,
yeah, and another thing, every Saturday night, I had 50 cents more than I had the Saturday night before, and I learned a lot there, you know. To home, you'd sit in the house, and, you know, boy, 14, don't do a hell of a lot. There was, every day was a working day. Every day, get up in the morning, milk the cows, and get maybe a load, a couple, two, 3 loads of silage and set them by where the cows ate out of the bunk, you know. About he had 3 places where we fed silage at a bunk. But every 3 days we had to fill up, he had 3 wagons. Every day we had to fill, every 3rd day we had to fill them wagons up. And a lot of times,
when you found that stuff, a bump, did you put something in it when you took some out, or
what's that?
when you found them bottles by bump, did you take, when you took some out, you put some water back in, or just
Yeah,
take some out of each bottle?
yeah. And
Put a little water back in the bottle?
I put a little pint out and put a pint back in.
I worked for Bump a year or 2 before, I never did find a drink bottle.
Well, where did you find it at?
Well, I just
Yeah,
left
stick it
it
around.
What?
when I found the first
watch the
gal,
drives going.
I always thought, well, I ever find it, I'm gonna take find out. So I knew what it was, an clean, empty pint. And here one night, we was done with the chores and everybody had went to the house, and here I seen one under a manger, horse manger. So I went and got a pint, and I filled it up and took it upstairs in the barn, and I dropped it down between the on the wall, you know, where it's
Yeah.
2 by 6. Oh, it's ping, it went. So then I got investigated, and there was a gallon's up sitting on there. But then after a while, I found cases, you know, cases that held 4 or 6 gallons.
Did you drink it?
We're not asking dumb questions here, are we?
8 years old?
See that expression?
Okay, now the next question is, was kids still around here?
No.
Mark and
I
Marie
think
something?
they all
I
died,
think they're all
didn't they?
gone.
That's a good thing because it gets this recording here.
Yeah,
Dead
that's
mother.
right.
Well,
Well-
why don't you tell the story about when Mary Ann got into the wine with milk?
Iced tea.
Iced tea, that's what it was, yeah. Why don't you,
Well, you weren't there, were you?
No.
Ruth, you said that really well.
I did. I said it was after Pat's wedding, there was some wine in the refrigerator. And she always liked iced tea. So she got a hold of that wine and she said, and she had a dish towel in her hand. Oh, that iced tea's so good, she said.
Was she rocking in the rocking chair and just going?
Well, I remember that towel and she was sweating and she said, oh, that iced tea is so good.
So you when you went to school from St. Ben, you took a bus to school.
Oh,
We
yeah, we took a
horse
bus,
and-
yeah.
You called it a bus, but it wasn't really a bus.
School bus.
Well, Tony, he made a little cart. Remember with that cart you made?
Yeah, yeah.
And we drove that cart to school. That was about when you were in the 8th grade, I think.
And what?
You were about in the 8th grade, I think.
Could have been out in
Yeah.
a higher grade, but yeah, we had a single horse on there.
Yeah. And then we'd
It's
eat,
like a trotter they got on television now, you know. It becomes the same then, yeah.
yeah, we had that little cart. But then we'd go down that half-mile road, and there was always that Jerome Whithelm, and Tony would always be so happy to pick him up. And he'd sit right between us.
Trying to line you up. Sure. He didn't like you at all.
He was he was on the simple order. And,
Well, hopefully he's dead too, huh?
and then he'd tease me, how tickled I was that he picked up Jerome Whithelm, and you know what a thrill it was for me.
Okay.